Hello and welcome to The Great Beyond, an Is This Good companion pod where we follow up on last week's episode, answer listener questions, and catch up with each other. The person I'm catching up with is, of course, Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi, JD. Thanks for coming this week, and thanks for wearing your $50 t-shirt that you got at the Duran Duran concert. Notice that it's not a Duran Duran t-shirt.
No, it is not. The Duran Duran merch was garbage, I have to say. I know they were trying to recapture the 80s sort of vibe, but they didn't even do that well. I think it was also their new album or whatever, so it was art from that, and who gives a shit? Anyway, so I got a Le Freak Say Chic shirt. Very simple. $45 plus tax, which ended up here in Atlanta was about $50. And as I mentioned, they spun around the terminal, gave me the option of tipping. I did not tip.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit more stringent with that, to be honest. Yeah. I'm just starting to try to categorize things. I can't remember where. Oh, I think I was at a wine shop. I bought a bottle of wine. Okay. So I go to the case, grab a bottle, bring it to the front. It's $24.
Yeah. They
turn the thing around. 20% tip on that is like the standard option.
The minimum. Wow.
Minimum. No, not the minimum. No, there was an 18% 20, but the middle was 20, and that was the recommended. And I just thought, why is this any different than going into the Gap, picking up a T-shirt, and bringing it to the cash? When you go to the Gap, they don't spin it around.
Right.
But even if, let's say, I had gone and said, "Hi, could you recommend? I'm going over to a friend's house for a barbecue. Can you recommend something that pairs well with charred meats, because this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing." Then they show me to, I don't know, a nice Sangiovese. Do I then have to tip? No, right?
Of course not. But also, that's different than you just going and picking out your own wine and then paying for it, and then them expecting a 20% tip on what I assume is a very expensive bottle of wine, knowing you.
No, it's $24. Well, that's going to someone's house. Normally, I'm drinking Trader Joe's swill. My Googles are all like, good wine at Trader Joe's. It turns out these online sommeliers don't know what they're talking about. I guess it turns out if you're a really good sommelier, you're not ranking the wines available at Trader Joe's that are priced at a frugal $6.99.
All right.
But, sorry, going backwards, I would argue that it isn't any different if I ask them a question because, so I think what you're saying is that's service, right? They're giving you service. You're walking in and you're saying, okay, but I would say that is point of store. You go into 100%. Store, have question about merchandise in store.
Right.
Salesperson directs you to product.
Right.
So that you then buy item.
Yes.
Is that service? To me, that's like, now maybe if I said, oh, my wrist, I couldn't possibly carry this 750 milliliter bottle of wine to the car.
Right,
could you do that? Now that's feeling like service, but how else are we supposed to buy things in stores? Or I guess, why is there even a person there if they're not going to be able to answer a question about this or that?
Fair enough. I guess what I'm saying is if it's above and beyond, so carrying your parcels to the car, tip worthy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I even hate talking about this because I hate sounding like some miser that's like nickel and diming and being like, no, I shall not part with my monies. It's like, I understand that in the restaurant industry, people are getting paid below minimum wage because that's the dumb system we have in this country.
Right.
And unlike even in Canada, these people are not getting health care.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting paid in Canada also below minimum wage, but at least they're getting health care on top of that.
Right.
So you're making below minimum wage. You're usually not getting health care unless you're part of a big restaurant group, and even then, who knows?
Yeah.
So you're relying on tips. I understand that.
Right.
But the person that's working retail is getting paid. Now, maybe that wage is not great, and they would love to get paid more, as would I if I was working at that wine shop. But I just think that the store owner's way of giving people raises, aka putting the tip question into the thing and setting it at 20% recommended.
Right.
I don't know. We've shifted too much of the onus onto the customer, and it's starting to drive me nuts.
But it's going to be the same if they stop tipping. The owners of the establishments are still just going to jack up the prices of the wares in said store or restaurant.
Are they, though?
I mean...
So you tell me if they took that tip, like, before electronic point of sales, like the standard thing that looks like an iPad that everyone uses now.
Yeah.
You tell me if that didn't exist, the prices would be higher? I mean, prices have gone up due to inflation and I don't know, whatever other kind of price gouging is going on. But I don't think it's because of tipping.
Oh, no, I'm saying that if they took away the custom of tipping, the service industry people, the wine store guy that asked you for a tip,
was a woman. Oh, suddenly don't think a woman can sell wine, do you? Well, let me one up you, because this was a woman-owned wine store. You don't think women can open a wine store? Well, they can. And some of these bottles of wine were even made by women. That's right, JD. Lady winemakers. You didn't think it was possible.
Girl?
Making wine? What? The most masculine alcoholic beverage ever?
Wow, so how do you even know that it's a female-owned wine shop?
I don't know. It's advertised as such.
Oh, okay. All right.
They also weirdly have, like, sex toys.
Okay.
It's actually a really weird place. They have wine, sex toys, cheese, that makes sense.
Okay.
And then they have, like, some cat toys, which, frankly, they're not painting a very complete picture of the modern woman. They're saying modern woman likes her adult juice, modern woman like vibrator, and modern woman likes cat. I mean, those are already the stereotypes.
Hey, but they're busting the stereotype by owning a wine shop. So there you go, I guess.
Yes, the classic stereotype that women can't own a wine shop. It was just thinking it's funny because, you know, certainly in the past, and I would say even now, like, beer is considered the masculine beverage, right? Versus wine.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, right? But then the most popular beers in America, at least, are all the light beers, right? Like Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite, whatever. Wine has like 3 times the amount of alcohol as beer.
Yes.
And yet wine is considered sort of like the frou-frou, aristocratic kind of thing. But bang for your buck, especially if we're talking a Trader Joe's $6.99 bottle of wine.
Right.
Maybe they need to start calling it like Shiraz Light, and they'd sell more bottles.
Interesting. Huh. Maybe. You might be onto something.
I'll go down to the women-owned wine shop, give them some tips.
I'm sure they want to hear from the guy that didn't tip them.
First of all, no, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I've been twice. The first time I did tip because I was just flustered. And then the next time I made a little mental note. I said, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's also like if they point out a $50 bottle of wine and I buy that, which frankly I wouldn't, but versus a $20 bottle of wine, the 20% tip would be, $10 on the $50 bottle of wine, right?
$10, yeah.
Right. So why should the amount of tip correlate to the price of the bottle? If the service is them instructing me on what to purchase.
Right. So yeah. So then what is that worth then? What is the recommendation worth to you?
It's worth me talking about it on this podcast and saying, go to this women-owned wine shop. Support local business.
Sure, yes, of course.
Support women-owned businesses.
Why not? If you're into that, if you're into like the stuff that they sell, if you want a dildo, if you want a one-stop shop for your dildo, your cheese, and your Shiraz, then you should definitely support that business.
They do have some books. They have some books too, JD. Okay.
Okay. What kind of books we talking?
They had some like cookbooks, some cocktail recipe books.
Okay.
And perhaps like the latest hot hardcover.
Okay.
Not hot like sex book, like hot like popular.
The latest bestseller.
Yeah, the latest bets. Whatever the current equivalent of like The Time Traveler's Wife is.
Right.
The Vanishing Half.
Wow.
The Vanishing Half. That's been on shelves for months.
What's it called?
Years.
I've never heard of
The Vanishing Half.
No.
It has like the graphic design on it is kind of like, I don't know anything about publishing, but it seems to me like they'll publish one book, it'll become popular, and then for a year, every book's cover looks like that book.
Right. Yeah.
If you see it you'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay, cool.
Did anything good or not good happen to you this week?
Well, we had a little run in on the pickleball court the other day.
No.
And I hate to always bring it back to pickleball, but literally that's
Do you
all...
hate it, JD? Do you?
No, I do, because it's like, I was like racking my brain going, what did I do other than fucking work? I ducked away to play pickleball a couple of times. So anyway, we're playing pickleball, and we had a sort of faker kind of... I don't know how to describe her. She was just like... she was youngish and hot, right? Which is not common on the pickleball court in general.
And just curious, because when you've described yourself playing pickleball, you described yourself as young relative to everyone. So is this woman younger than you?
Oh, yes. Okay. Younger. Yeah. I'm not going to put a number on her, but she's definitely younger than me, younger than Rachel. Anyway, I saw her come in a couple of nights ago, and she was like... it felt very fake and put on. Like, oh, what's this game you people are playing? This looks interesting. This is at the local Y, right? So it's just like people can just wander in. So we're in a gym, and some very nice people were like, oh, this is pickleball, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, I'm very interested. And then all of a sudden she was playing, and she was a little too good. You know what I mean? Like, I think she was disingenuous with the... pretending that I've never even seen this game before, and suddenly she's decent at it. I'm not going to say she's good; she's decent.
Better than you?
No, God no.
Okay.
A couple of days later, she was at another run. I'm going to call it a run. You know, the guys call basketball a run. I'm going to call this a run because that's what it is. It's like, we're playing ball. We're playing ball.
Sure. Pass me the rock.
Pass me that rock. Anyway, so she was really, really getting on Rachel's nerves because Rachel was playing against her, and Rachel kept complimenting her, like, oh, nice shot, like being encouraging. I mean, we knew that she was a beginner. Nothing. No response. Like, is that rude? Like, a little bit? If somebody says to you, hey, nice shot. That was a great shot there. What's your response usually?
I go, thanks.
Exactly. Acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Now, my theory is this woman she's beautiful. She's very used to getting compliments. That's my theory. You know, she's like, yeah, I know. And then she said something like, she was getting her ass handed to her, and she was like, oh, I'm just getting warmed up. Don't worry, I'm just getting warmed up, because she has a partner as well, right? Anyway, they finally won, and she was with a guy that we play with all the time.
Sorry, she was on Rachel's team.
No. When at first, it was me and Rachel versus her and this guy that we play with all the time, who is awesome. Like, he's great. Okay. So he basically carried her to a win. She had a couple of nice shots. Like I said, she's definitely played the game before. She had a couple of nice shots, but then when we were like tapping up our rackets, and she was like, see, I told you all I needed to do was warm up or something like that. No. And it was just like, Rachel was like, how about a little, she even said to her, like, how about a little sportsman-like conduct or something like that.
Wow.
And then, of
Rachel's
course,
the queen of confrontation.
Oh, totally. And then, of course, Rachel's the bad guy, right? Because she's like, and then her partner, because he's an older guy and it's a younger girl, he's trying to protect her, like, oh, come on, Rachel, blah, 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 blah. But no, Rachel was totally right. Anyways, we're playing them later. Now, this is the good part. This is what happened that was good. A couple of her friends, we were playing. It was a very contested, very testy match. There was tension in the air, for sure. Mm-hmm. And two of her friends just poked their heads in. And she's like, and they're like, oh, what is this you're playing? This whole fucking scene again. And she was like, she turned around to them and said, oh, it's pickleball. It's really easy. You guys should try it sometime.
Oh, God. No.
Fuck. Which, fair enough. It is kind of easy, but it's hard to master. Anyways, her partner had just served, and I fucking smoked her. Like, hit her, like, in the upper thigh. She didn't have a chance. Right in front of her friends, after she had said, this game is so easy. Check it out. And just, like, almost left a welt on her leg. And I'm still on a high from it. It was like made my week. I didn't even care if we lost it. Everything, all the stress of the tension that was in the room just melted away. I was like, I won. I just won the day. I won my week. So, yeah. Did something good happen to me? Yes. Something very good happened to me.
Do you think she walked away having learned a lesson?
No. God, no.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
Because when you were first describing it, when you were describing her as like, oh, what is this? I heard the sound of balls hitting rackets, and I wondered, what could that be? That you were getting like White Man Can't Jump. Like you were getting Billy Hoyle. Woody Harrelson was coming to the court going, what is this dribbling of this ball?
Right.
Now, it didn't seem ultimately like that because she didn't crush you.
She didn't know, but she had definitely played before. And I was telling this to Jackson when we got home, and he's like, oh, yeah, I do that all the time. Now, this kid's 15 years old. Uh-huh. He'll sort of show up on a basketball court and say, oh, I've never played this game before. And then he'll, like, he's a pretty good shooter, so he'll just sink shots, and people are like, oh! And then he's like, I'm just kidding. I played before. So it was all that without the...
Oh, he does this as a joke, because I do that same thing when I'm speaking French. I always say that I don't tell people that I'm from Montreal because I'm from Montreal, which is French, but I'm English, so didn't. It's not my mother tongue. Did learn it in school, but I've been gone for so long, and I was never that good at it in the first place. That now it sucks. But when I speak to anyone that is French, they're so impressed that this person they think is an American.
Right.
Knows how to speak French. They're fucking blown away. Now, if I tell them I'm from Montreal, that's going to immediately go down. So I pretend
exactly
that I just took some courses in high school.
And but what do you do when they find out that you're actually from Montreal? Like,
well, I never tell them. This is usually just like a passing thing.
What if we become
besties?
Become besties, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're from Montreal. Everything snaps into focus, and then
I'll say I left when I was orphaned. I was left at a church steps.
Right. So,
and the family that adopted me, so I was but 2 years old when I left.
Love it.
And certainly don't look that up on the internet. What about a movie called White Women Can't Dink?
Oh, we should.
No, but the white women can dink. Let's be honest.
Yes. Oh my God.
White Women Can Dink? Is that a movie? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what, I heard a review of this new White Men Can't Jump.
Yes.
The one that's on Hulu.
Yeah.
With Jack Harlow. It's supposed to be terrible.
I think Jackson and Rachel watched it. I think they didn't mind it, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay, well
so
then.
I don't know.
I guess different people have different opinions on things.
Yes.
Not on this show, though. Actually, for this next topic, I do need your opinion on something.
Okay.
So, this is something I saw this week, and I need you to tell me if you think it's good or not. So, Daniel Ralston, who is a former Is This Good guest.
Sure, yeah.
If you remember, he's a podcaster, he's a writer, he has the forthcoming Fake Zombies podcast coming out, he has that Iron Maiden mysterious death story coming out.
It was Iron Butterfly.
Yes, thank you for the fact check. He would be furious at me. Anyways, as we also talked about on the show, he's a bartender.
Right.
And so he sent me a text this week and basically explained the situation. Like, he's working at this bar, this guy comes up to him and hands him a business card. He thinks, okay, that's a little bit odd. Looks down at the business card, and this is what's on the business card. Hold on, it's going to take me a second to bring this up.
Okay.
So what you're seeing is a business card, but on the business card is a picture of a cocktail called Johnny's Dream.
Yeah.
And there is a recipe.
Yeah.
So basically this guy is saying, hey, I'm not going to tell you what I want. I'm just going to show you this business card. Make this thing that's on this. Do you think this is good or not?
Do I think? Yeah, you know what? I am going to say I think it's fine. I've never heard of this cocktail.
No, because, first of all, do we think the guy's name is Johnny? It's got to be Johnny. There's no way that the standard name for this cocktail is Johnny's Dream. Also, let me just go through the ingredients here. Yeah. 2 parts silver tequila, 1 part Aperol, half ounce lime juice, 4 to 5 drops orange bitters. I like he says 4 to 5, so he's allowing some interpretation for the bartender.
Yeah.
Squeeze of orange juice, shake well, and serve up with an orange twist. Okay. So I'm not a bartender, but to me, this doesn't look like a complicated drink. You basically have the liquor was tequila.
Yeah.
An aperitif, in this case, Aperol.
Yeah.
Lime juice and bitters.
Yeah. And a little bit of orange juice. Citrusy.
A little bit of orange juice. I guarantee you this drink has a name, and it's not Johnny's Dream.
I've never seen this drink before. I've never seen this combination, weirdly. I don't think I've ever seen Aperol with tequila, but I'm not...
No, you can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm just...
I'm out, JD. I'm out in the streets, okay? I'm looking at the cocktail menus. I'm going, Luxardo. What's Luxardo? Okay, but I've seen a drink with tequila and Aperol, especially in the summer. Okay. It ain't called Johnny's Dream. And I'll tell you something else. This, in my opinion, and this is the layman speaking, this drink should not be served up. There's too many sweet things. I think it should be on the rocks. I think I want this cold.
Oh, I see what you're saying. 100%. I agree with you. I mean, it is shaken, so it would be cold, but...
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
It would be better on ice, I think.
Yeah, I still want it on a rock. But Johnny's got flair, man. That's the thing. Johnny wants to walk around with a martini glass.
Yeah, so what did Daniel have to say? Was he annoyed, or...
No, I think he admired the advanced work that this man put into this.
I mean, I will say the thing that I find most offensive is the design of it.
It's a very poorly. It looks like
very Canva
something
Pro.
I would make on Canva for the show. Yeah, 100%.
No. You're 100 times better than this, but like,
because would you want the ingredients to not creep onto the picture of the cocktail? Because that's what's throwing me off. It's a little hard to read. Maybe it's getting an outline on the text or something?
Yeah, at least a stroke or a drop shadow maybe. I don't know, something to make it pop a little more. I don't love the font. Frankly, I don't like the picture of the drink either. I think it could be much smaller in the corner and let the bartender sort of do his or her thing, serving it up as, all you have to say is martini glass. It could be like an image or whatever.
Yeah, and let's add a little flair to the title, Johnny's Dream, because right now Johnny's Dream, same font size, same font as the ingredients.
Right.
You want the headline, then you want the ingredients listed lower.
100%.
So this has never happened to you while you were bartending?
No, never. God, no.
It is interesting that like the cocktail world still, or the bar world still allows for some idea of the customer is always right. Imagine you walked into a restaurant, a waiter comes over, you just slide your business card over, and he takes a look and it just says like, "Mama's Jambalaya." It's like. Sir, this is an Italian restaurant. They're like, nope. I'm sure you don't have ground chicken back there? Well, then get to grinding.
This could catch on briefly until AI takes over the bartending game. You know what I mean? Like, I have my drink, my signature cocktail, and I'm just going to tell the bartender. And soon it will be, I'm just going to tell the machine, the bar machine that I want 2 parts silver tequila, 1 part Aperol, blah, blah, blah. And that's sad to think of. But it's the future, I think.
But you're saying not just AI, you're saying a robot bartender.
Yeah, a robot. Or like a Star Trek replicator or whatever. It's a machine, and you just... Bzz, gives you the
you know what would be way easier to do, like which could be done right now? At some bars you'll go to... Personally, I find these bars very annoying, but you'll just tell them what kind of mood you're in. Mm-hmm. And then they will make a cocktail based on that.
I mean, I've never done this, but sure.
It exists.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like it. Some places is as whimsical as you'll go in and you'll say, "I'm feeling fun and flirty."
Right.
And then in some places it'll just be like, just tell us the base cocktail and then a flavor profile. So you would say rye, sour, and then they would take it from there.
Okay.
So anyways, you could have a little iPad and you could just input these things and then the AI could generate a recipe.
Yeah.
Is that impressive? Not really, but
no.
But people are like just shoving AI into everything right now in places where AI don't need to be.
Right. I mean, it's literally that kind of thing is literally gonna be the slot machine head thing, where it's like, what Disney character are you? And it just goes Pumbaa, what? Like, But that it'll be.
Are they saying I have nasty farts?
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's going to be. Can't wait for that.
Can't wait for that. All right, so if anything bad happens on an airplane, I think we are obligated to talk about it as people from Is This Good? Every viral plane video that occurs, someone sends it to us and says, what do you think of this? So I'd like to read to you a headline from the Mirror. Passenger sets up projector on flight to watch film, and people are divided. A passenger has sparked a debate after he set up a projector mid-flight so he could watch a film, but not everyone agrees whether it was acceptable behavior. Let me just start by saying, I suppose people are divided as in if you read 1,000 tweets about this, one person might say, I think this is fine, but I don't think people are divided on this.
So,
what's your gut reaction? Would you have to pause and think, what are the pros and cons of projecting? So here's what this man has done. Okay. He brought a projector onto the airplane, and across the aisle onto the overhead baggage compartments where people put their carry-ons. Yeah. He is projecting a movie. Now, I don't know if this changes it for you, but if I asked you to guess what movie he was projecting, and this happened this week. He's projecting Mel Gibson's The Patriot.
Wow.
Isn't that very random?
Very random. So I don't understand. Okay. I'm trying to picture this in my head. So he wasn't at the bulkhead, like where he could actually project in front of him. He's projecting it onto the baggage.
Correct. Which are always white. So, but what? In a sense, the world is his canvas. When you have a projector, all the world is a canvas.
So then he just sort of turned his head, and was it directly beside him, or was it sort of in front of him? Like,
from the position, I couldn't see where he was, I don't think. But yeah, basically, imagine you're kind of, if you're at the window, your head would be turned towards the aisle opposite you.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I was on this plane, I probably would not give a shit. Like, how many people are actually seeing it? Really?
Well, everyone in the row opposite where it's being projected could see it.
So 3 people.
No, why would the people in front at least a few rows, the people in back at least a few rows? This thing is big.
Well, it's not that big if it's fitting on the.
Yeah, but it could fit. I mean, we're talking 16 by 9, JD. We're talking letterbox, so it's longer than it is higher. I don't know if you know how these things work.
Does he have the captions going?
He had the captions on.
Okay. That's very considerate.
Well, that's why I love these articles that are just these. Speaking of AI, these articles are probably fucking written by AI.
Yeah.
Because the article's like, some people slam the move, with one person asking, is everyone traveling by air allowed to act like it's their own private world these days? Still, others appeared impressed by the move, especially as he had put subtitles on the film, with one person describing him as, quote, the hero we need. Another added, quote, I mean, was a rule broken? As long as there's no nudity or obscene violence and he was using headphones. So I like this idea of, like, was there a rule broken? Like, as if etiquette is like mandated by law, like from the school of the 11-year-old that's going, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, you can't be mad, I'm not actually touching you.
Yeah, it's the Air Bud school of legal interpretation where there's nothing in the rule book that says a dog can't be our point guard. But I mean, I think it's stupid and inconsiderate on one hand, but also who gives a shit? What airline was this? I
don't know. But what does that make a difference?
Yeah,
like if it's Spirit, let those people suffer more.
Well, yes, because I would never fly Spirit if I can help it. What do I say? It's like EasyJet, where they don't have screens already, and there's people are just twiddling their thumbs. But who is that? Everybody's got a device,
a phone or an iPad or a laptop.
But on the discount airliners, like, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no whatever. So if people are stuck and they want to watch Mel Gibson be a patriot, I guess the option is there for you, I suppose. Well, Where were they going? I want to know everything about
I don't know why that makes a difference. They were going back to England, so everyone should watch The Patriot to know about the War of Independence. I guess that's what that movie is about. It's been a long time. We are sort of just going retro. Maybe this is an idea. Retro airlines. Because remember, movies did used to just be projected at the front of the plane.
Hell yeah, I remember.
I used to get on the plane and go, and then
the movie?
What's the movie? And then they'd be like, well, first we're showing Rain Man, and then followed by whatever. And then you're like, oh, I wish the second one was first. I gotta be sleeping by then. And then they'd be like, turn to channel 2 for English. You know what I mean? Because you used to have those things that like looked like a doctor's stethoscope. Yeah.
Oh, I remember them. You could talk into them. It was great.
But then we moved to the screens every few rows, right? Mm-hmm. So then you used to get on the plane and be like, oh, fuck, the screen's right above my head. I can't see it. Yeah. So now I'm in the furthest possible place from the screen ahead of me. And these are like old 4x3 TVs.
Oh, man. Talk to me, old man.
Yeah, I think Retro Airlines. Okay, there's one movie for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's projected.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is a big selling point for some people. You could smoke.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the back, anyways, you could.
Okay, fine. In the back, you can smoke.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to dress up? You have to wear a suit?
Yes. 100%.
Okay. Now, the problem is once we get these sick animals on this plane, they're going to go Retro Airlines. I could play a little grab ass with the flight attendant. In fact, we're so retro, we're calling them stewardesses again.
Okay, but you know what?
We got to control these animals somehow. We can't have sexual harassment be part of Retro Airlines.
I would argue that was never acceptable. It was just sort of tolerated. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
okay, how about this? You have to offer the flight attendant like a nice retro gift, like a pair of stockings or something.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Sure.
And then maybe offer, like, say that you're married, but then offer to have, like, a torrid affair where you whisk her off to Paris. But again, you don't do it, but that's just the atmosphere.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, Retro Airlines. Hit us up with your ideas for Retro Airlines.
There is something about everybody watching the same movie. The last time I watched a movie on a plane like that, like old school projector, it was The Naked Gun. Mm-hmm. People were dying. Like the whole plane, just hilarious. Like it brought the house down. Shout out to Leslie Nielsen. That just doesn't happen anymore. Occasionally, you'll have some weirdo in the corner, just chuckling at whatever or losing it on something. But
I like, because we're always complaining, like, there's no monoculture anymore. There's not one thing that everyone can talk about, and most people mean that in the sense of like, no one's watching network TV. We're not all watching Seinfeld at 8 p.m. on a Thursday anymore. Right. But I like your take to the next level. You're just like, airplanes, one movie.
That's right.
It's a double feature. It's not a double feature. We're showing Naked Gun, mm-hmm. and we're opening with some Just for Laughs gags.
Oh God, remember that? Oh my God! And Mr. Bean was a big
Canada,
one too.
Yeah, living in Canada and flying Air Canada, you were going to see some Just for Laughs gags, whether you wanted to or not. And those don't hit quite as hard as Naked Gun. I want to ask you this question, because I'm living with Jill, which is why, I have this terrible Wi-Fi. Jill, maybe you should upgrade. When you're listening to this, maybe consider upgrading the Wi-Fi. Just so you're just noticing things that I wouldn't have noticed before. I want to get your read on this.
Okay.
Because now I feel crazy. So she left the house to do a couple errands. She was gone max, I would say 90 minutes, but between an hour and 2 hours.
Okay.
She gets back, takes off her socks, folds them up, puts them back in the sock drawer.
No.
I say, what are you doing? She says, I wore these for like an hour. I said, but you wore them. She says, yeah, but only for an hour. They're still clean. I said, those go in the hamper. She says, so whether I wear it for an hour or the entire day, they're going in the hamper either way? Mm-hmm. She says, that's not a lot of nuance. I say, that's correct. There's no nuance when it comes to socks and laundry. I subscribe to the contamination rule.
Yeah.
One particle of contamination slides it into contamination. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's no it's just only a little bit contaminated.
I am 100% on board with you on this particular one. I have, if I put on a pair of socks and then I decided, I don't want to wear these socks, I'll take them off. I'll still smell them, even though they've been on my feet for 2 minutes maximum, and if they pass the sniff test, I'll put them back. But that is the only scenario. If I had taken that extra minute and put on my shoes, it's over for those socks.
Over. Yeah, because they're touching contamination.
Exactly. I would take them off, the shoes off, and they would go directly in the hamper. I wouldn't even think about it. And I find it very disturbing that she walked around in an hour, took the socks off. You didn't say she smelled them before she put them back. She just, without a thought, put them back. I mean, I don't want to say red flag, but...
Oh, no. I wish she was, because it's just a one-bedroom apartment. I sort of wish she was just on the couch, but she's out right now. She's out right now exercising. I swear to God, if she comes home and takes those socks off and doesn't put them in the laundry, I'm moving out and back into my contaminated apartment. I'd rather be inhaling mold than dirty sock. So what about, do you extend this to all parts of clothing? Do you just want to go head to toe quickly through?
Okay, sure, yeah.
Weirdly, hat, you're wearing a million times before you wash it.
I actually wash my hats. I wear a hat pretty much every day. So I wash them pretty often, like once every 2 weeks. So that's more than most, I'm sure. I don't like the smell of a scalp. You know what I mean?
You are like sweating a lot from your scalp.
Yep.
Because your hair, now you're adding the hat.
Yep.
It's got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You're probably sweating more from your brow than from your socks.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got sweaty feet too. Sweaty feet.
Yeah. So a hat
wool, Bombas merino wool only. Use code no dunks. What's your code? No dunks 20? What is it?
No, it's no dunks right now. Yeah.
Okay, use code no. Go to Bombas. Use code no dunks for some Bombas socks. Okay, t-shirt. You wear it for an hour.
Pretty. Yeah, going in the
laundry.
Hamper. Yeah, laundry.
Okay.
Yeah, we could cut to the everything because everything is going.
Everything. Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make a difference. An hour just hanging out around the house versus an hour running an errand.
Nope. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, hold on. But pants, jeans, I'm not washing those every time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm washing jeans once every 2 weeks, week and a half.
No, it's every time for me, and I know I certainly around here.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, jean lovers, they'll say you gotta let that selvage denim breathe, baby.
I know. Oh, I'm not wearing salvage denim. I'm wearing, it's half of its fucking spandex anyways, so.
Not salvage denim, selvage denim.
Selvage, whatever.
I don't know what it is, JD, but it's fancy denim, okay? We went to this museum in LA called, what's it called? I think it might be like the Gene Autry Museum of the American West or something like that. It's in LA. Like Jill and I both like weird Western shit.
Is it go on?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're asking, do they reckon with the actual occurrences of what happened in the American West?
No. I was gonna say, is it a museum of jeans? And it's the Gene Autry Museum? What are you saying?
I did not put
what
that
is happening?
I didn't put that together. No, but I did see a pair of jeans there.
Okay.
They had an exhibit of like old-timey clothes, and there was literally a pair of jeans that was like 150 years old, and they looked amazing. Like you could buy them in a fancy secondhand store.
Wow. Okay.
And my only point is I guarantee you that person was not washing them every single day. And that is what allowed these jeans to live on, and therefore allowed me to observe them.
But
they might have been Levi's. How old are Levi's?
They're old. It's a legacy company for sure. But how don't you want to wash your jeans and like make them, wear them out, and doesn't that add to the wear and tear and the character of it?
I guess so. But some people want a stiff jean, first of all.
I know, but they stink. Like, don't people smell? They don't
stink.
I guess. I don't know.
Are your knees sweating?
Yes, I am a sweaty guy. I live in Georgia.
Okay, well then you're a freak. I don't know about this. Maybe you could talk me into the back of the knee sweat.
Okay, but never mind.
Okay,
I'm talking about.
Are your ankles sweating?
I mean, no, but the jeans are on my ass. They're on my crotch. Like,
But you're wearing underwear, presumably.
Yes, but I don't know. It's gross.
Things are moving.
Things are moving around. I don't know. I'm farting at least 3 times in those jeans. I would think.
Well, let me ask you this. You're just wearing underwear right now.
I got
and you have an itch to scratch in the butt region.
Okay. Yeah.
You go to scratch it over the material, not under the material. So you're basically pushing the material, the micromodal, into whatever area you're scratching. Do you then have to go wash your hands? Now, I say this because if you're saying yes, then I would admit there's some consistency to your theory that the dirt material bacteria is passing through the material.
Okay. The answer is yes, 100%. I'm washing my hands, and also this almost never comes up for me. I will I will live with the tickle until I can get into some sort of situation where I can deal with the problem directly. But I'm not. I don't know. One time my cousin, we were at camp, and he. This is a weird one, but we for some reason we were dressed and he was in the water, and you could see through his shorts, right? His shorts, see his underwear, and skid marks all over them, and he was roasted. And I was like, do I have that? And I don't think I did, but I've been paranoid about that ever since, about having skid marks in my underwear at all. So I'm very, pardon the pun, anal about it. But
I think this was a bigger problem, and no offense, in your day when the only undergarment option was a white pair of banana hammock Hanes.
You're right. That's
why we've moved up. I haven't worn a pair of white underwear in like 20 years.
Yeah, same.
Why would you? Well, what's the advantage?
Exactly.
I mean maybe is it a sun thing? Like, if it's a hot day, you're wearing a black T-shirt, but the sun's not hitting your underwear.
No. I think if you got a hot bod and the white,
like peeking out of the jeans.
Yeah. Or if you happen to be in a situation where you find yourself with some potential partner, and you just get down to the whiteys or white underwear on your tan fit bod.
Yeah,
it looks good. It just looks good.
I agree that it does look good, but
the risk is not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. Now, because imagine then you disrobe, and then this lady or man looks at you and goes, God damn, you look. And then you turn around. And as 3D Dennis Scott might say, see them skid marks. See them skid marks.
See them skid marks.
But much like you, because I went to summer camp, I was always terrified that my underwear, I would wake up and it would be at the top of the flagpole.
Yeah, there's that too.
And I'd say, look at old shit pants Austin. Because in those days, in the early 90s, I was only wearing Hanes.
Yeah. Well, okay, getting back to your original question, are you washing your hands after picking your ass is basically what you asked.
Yes, correct.
Do you wash your hands after you wipe your ass?
But this is my point.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, are we agreeing or aren't we?
Well, I guess we're disagreeing, because if I had to wash my finger every time I touched my ass, I wouldn't get anything done.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Do it right now. Hold on a second.
Oh, God.
Hold on. Can you pause? I have to go wash my hands. All right. Some housekeeping, JD.
All right, let's do it.
Join our Patreon, patreon.com/isthisgood. The live stream hangout is tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Now, reminder, you could sign up for a free trial, patreon.com/isthisgood. Okay? Yep. Free trial, patreon.com/isthisgood. Also the place to subscribe if you'd like. Live stream tonight, Thursday, 8:30 Eastern. We're excited to see you there. Next week, there will only be one show, JD. Why?
Because 4th of July?
Well, not really. You are going to Vegas.
I am going to Vegas.
Beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah. I think this is the first time I've been to Vegas that you are not going to be there, like in my life.
Oh, wow. Who will you have to complain to about it?
Well, I'm going to be complaining to you probably in this app at a certain point.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we're going to do one Great Beyond next week. No Is This Good Show. JD's on the road. Doesn't have his rig. Okay, that's what they call it in the biz.
Yeah.
You can't get a gig if you ain't got the rig. Do people say that?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds like something you'd say.
That'd be a cool bumper sticker.
Fuck yeah.
For a guy that drinks Shiraz Light. So yes, JD's in Vegas. We're excited to talk about Vegas. So gather all your stories, JD.
Okay.
And we're not sure what day that's going to come out, but No Is This Good? We have a show dropping the week after, so July 10th.
Yes.
And that will be with the great Kelly Dwyer, the original basketball blogger. A fascinating man. I'm excited to get behind the curtain with Kelly Dwyer because I've known him, I've met him, but I've not really talked with him at any length. And he has interesting opinions, I find.
Yeah, interesting opinions, and get ready for some deep cuts because the man, he's a vault of knowledge, and he just likes retro stuff. The last time he was on No Bunts last year, he was pulling out like MASH inside like Corporal Klinger MASH jokes, referring to the number on Corporal Klinger's baseball jersey. Like, how do you, did you wiki this beforehand? And it just came up. I don't know why it came up, but, God damn, this guy. And Corporal Klinger, if you may remember, was
I'll tell you right now, I don't remember.
The famous thing about his character was that he dressed as a woman all the time because he was trying to get a quote-unquote Section 8, which was being kicked out of the Army for being crazy, but for being insane. So he would dress in drag for, at least 3 or 4 seasons there.
You mean every show?
Yeah, literally
he was dressed
every
in
show.
Drag?
Yeah, different outfit every time. It was,
and one of his outfits was a baseball jersey?
Well, before that, he was wearing a baseball uniform for whatever reason. I don't think that was part of it.
But hold on, if it wasn't working the first time, why did he think doing it for 3 seasons would work?
It was the visual gag, I guess. Yeah, it was a different time, Matt.
God, it was easy to make people laugh back then, huh? Hey, look at this guy. He's dressed as a woman. Isn't that hilarious? Ha ha.
Well, to be fair, Jamie Farr did look pretty funny dressed as a woman. Okay. I mean,
like a Bugs Bunny style.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very good comparison. Anyway, Kelly Dwyer is going to be great.
Okay, Kelly Dwyer, right. I forgot what we were talking about. There's going to be at least, let's set an over-under for Steely Dan references.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At 2.5 or 3.5?
2.5, I think.
Okay, 2.5. So we'll see. Buy your Is This Good merch, isthisgoodpod.com. Saw Jay Skeets wearing it on No Dunks this week. God, did he look good.
You could look great. As good. It looks great.
Be ready to judge things. You're doing something out in the world, people will turn to you and say, is that good? Like, they spin around the tip thing, it says 20% at the wine store, you're wearing the shirt, you just pop it, show it to them, and say, send me emails at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Could always use some good emails and some good topics, and subscribe on YouTube, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I haven't checked on Apple Podcasts, but I don't think there's been any new reviews lately. And I don't like that, so go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. A quick bit of follow-up before I get to the main piece of follow-up here, JD.
Okay.
Remember last week I was talking about how proud I was of myself that I had a meeting with a guy named Chris Martin, a British guy named Chris Martin, and I didn't make one single Coldplay joke. And I related to this guy that I saw working at a hotel named Will Smith post-slap and asked him how often it came up, and he said, never comes up. And I was like, I don't believe you. So 65 Font on Twitter sent me an article. The article's from 2013, but I think we can extrapolate that it's somewhat similar. This is a list of the top 13 full names in America.
Okay.
William Smith is number 11 on this. So William Smith is the 11th most common name in America.
Really?
Yeah. Does that, I mean,
that's
high. You think it's high?
11?
Do you want to guess who's number 1?
John Smith.
That's what I thought too. John Smith is 13th. John Smith is below Will Smith.
Wow.
I think it's because it's like if your last name is Smith, and you want to name your kid John, you're like, it's too John Doe-y. Like, it's too...
Yeah, generic.
Mm-hmm. So people put a little spin on it, and the number one name in America is James Smith.
Okay.
Anyways, you wouldn't be surprised to know that it's James Smith, then Michael Smith, then Robert Smith. Then a little bit of a left turn, Maria Garcia. Now we're back to the Smiths. We got David Smith. Then we got Maria Rodriguez.
Okay.
Now we're back to Mary Smith, Maria Hernandez, Maria Martinez, James Johnson, William Smith, Robert Johnson, and John Smith. So there you go. Popular names. Wow. So there's a lot of people out there, which maybe this guy was right, because there's so many people named Will Smith that it's not unique to see someone's name tag says Will Smith. So you're getting off all your Will Smith jokes at the cashier at the supermarket. Then you go to the pharmacy. That guy's named Will Smith.
Right.
You know? Then you go to the bar. The bartender's name's Will Smith.
Right.
So by the time you get to the hotel guy, you're like, I've used up all my Will Smith material.
So who famous do we have in that list then? We have Will Smith, obviously. We have Robert Smith. We have Robert Johnson.
Yes.
No one else jumped out at me in terms of a famous person.
Is there a famous James Smith?
Name. Oh, I mean, not.
You said James Johnson, right?
Did you say? I said Robert Johnson, the blues guitarist,
and Robert Smith, The Cure.
Robert Smith from The Cure,
and James Johnson. I mean, there's at least an NBA player named James Johnson.
Yeah. Interesting.
But otherwise, I don't know. I'm not seeing anyone else. So it's safe to name your kid David Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, it's safe to name yourself James Smith, the number one option.
Interesting.
So, as you know, we have a Discord, JD, that you can join if you join our Patreon. It's popping over there.
Yeah.
We got young Pep Dash in there now telling everyone he's drinking 8 liters of Diet Coke a day. Or maybe it's Diet Pepsi. Either one.
It's Diet Pepsi. It's Diet Pepsi for sure. Unless he's done a complete 180.
He says he's brought the number down.
Yeah. It used to be higher. I remember that about him.
Yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, so the Discord's popping. And I saw someone said, hey, does anyone ever watch old episodes of The Blank Jones or listen to episodes of The Blank Jones? Now, The Blank Jones, if you don't know, back when we were the Basketball Jones, so this is 2006 to 2013, back in Toronto, during the summer, there'd be no NBA stuff, so we just started experimenting with doing shows that had nothing to do with basketball.
Right.
Now, as you know, we frequently talk about things that don't have to do with basketball.
Right.
I mean, or you guys do, I should say.
Yeah. I try to bring up as much as possible.
Well, right. But back then, we didn't know if we had the range, JD, to talk about things that weren't to do with basketball. So we waited till the summer, and the Blank Jones, the idea was, in that blank, there'd be something new every week. So we did, like, the Food Jones.
Yes.
Right? Talked about food.
Right.
I saw we did one called the Screenplay Jones, which I didn't remember, and that's where we each pitched a movie. Oh. I listened to 5 minutes of it. The 5 minutes I listened to was Trey, breathlessly explaining this great idea for a movie, and then you just pipe in and go, Trey, you just described a movie called Dog Park. His movie was about 2 people that meet at a dog park.
Oh, yeah, I
remember
that.
There was a movie called Dog Park already.
Yeah, the great Bruce McCullough.
So anyways, the No Dunks Discord had some blank episodes in their feed. So I went back and I listened to 5 minutes of that one, and I listened to 5 minutes of another one called Rules for My Unborn Son. And I had no memory of doing this. And basically this idea was this guy, Walker Lamond, had started a Tumblr where he would, I don't know, every day or every week, write a new rule till he got to, I think he was trying to get to 1,000 or something.
Okay.
And they would be rules for his unborn son. So like, for instance, one that we talked about on the show was start what you finish, especially books. And the idea was we bring them up and debate whether we agreed with them or not. So we're doing follow-up on a podcast that is at least, I don't know.
15 years old?
15 years old, 12,
maybe?
15 years old. So I don't know if this was, it said October 2nd, but no year. But I would guess it was either 2011, 2012, or 2013.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to hit you with some that we did not talk about on the show. Give me your gut reaction.
Oh, God. Okay.
Accept with pleasure or regretfully decline, but one need not give reason why.
Huh.
So they're saying, if I invite you somewhere, just say yes or no, but don't give me a reason why.
Right.
This seems like bad advice to me, but how do you feel?
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Because
just simple, direct, don't over-explain.
If I'm inviting you somewhere, hey, Matt, let's go down to the Hawks game. Mm-hmm. And you're like, no thanks. That's all I need. That's all I need. You know? I don't. You know what? I was supposed to cook Jill a ramen dinner that night. I don't care, and I don't need to know any of that. You know what I mean?
Okay. So related, never cancel dinner plans by text message. Now this is at least 15 years ago, or at least 13 years ago. So times they are a changing.
Yeah. I think.
But I would say text is the best way to cancel dinner plans.
Yes. Well, it depends on how late you're canceling them, I suppose.
That's true. If you need to know that they're going to know the information right away, you do have to call.
Yeah.
But this guy's saying don't say why. So you would just say, I would say I am cooking a ramen dinner for Jill and for you and for Rachel.
Yeah.
You just say not coming? I don't know if I like that.
All right. Well, I don't know. It's like, say you and Jill have invited Rachel and I to dinner at your house. And Rachel and I have had basically a domestic incident, you know, getting ready for this. And she's in tears. I'm in tears. We don't even know if this marriage is going to survive. Right? You don't need to know any of that. Hey, Matt, I can't make it. Something's coming up.
That's when you say, sorry, can't come. Rachel has diarrhea.
Yeah, but that's a lie. Didn't he just say not to lie?
Well, he didn't say not to lie. He just said not to give a reason why. But at least
there was another rule about lying, wasn't it? Anyways.
Well, okay, then he says this is another rule. The best way to ruin an apology is with an explanation. This guy doesn't, this feels a little too manly to me. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Men don't explain things, and I think also he's going under the assumption that men don't want things explained to them.
Right.
A man will understand if you got to cancel fishing plans. You just say, I ain't coming. And then the man says, all right, more Shiraz Light for me.
But, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to put somebody in a delicate situation, even if they're putting themselves in a delicate situation. Do you know what I mean?
What's the delicate situation here? The diarrhea?
Needing to lie and say that, you know what, my wife has diarrhea. Well,
a real man would say, I have diarrhea.
That's right. He'll step up and take the fake diarrhea. But it's just like, diarrhea.
How does he text me and say, I have diarrhea and I'm wearing white underwear. Can't risk it tonight.
But it's like you have to sell. You feel as my guest. If I invited you, you as my guest, I don't want you to feel any pressure to come at all, or any pressure to, jazz up the reason for you not coming. Maybe you just don't feel like it, right? And then it's like, I have terrible diarrhea. It's like, I don't want you to be in that position. You can just say, I'm not coming, and I will spare you. I find that
pretty rude. If you've prepared me dinner and I just suddenly decide don't feel like coming.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
I'll get into it.
That wouldn't happen. Okay. All right.
All right. Well, here's another rule. I pulled this one. I saw this one. I said, I got to ask JD this. It just says, you can't serenade a girl on the drums.
Yeah, that is 100% true, actually.
But I bet you playing drums has excited some women. Some of the women you were with were like,
God,
it
looks
good back there.
I don't know about that. Rachel says she enjoyed watching me play back in the day, but it's not like people were throwing themselves at me afterwards.
Were you drumming shirtless?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Fingerless gloves?
No.
Oh, okay. There was another music one. This rule for his unborn son: don't sing the guitar solo.
You mean along when you're driving in the car kind of thing?
Yeah, let's say you're listening to Boston's More Than a Feeling. So you're in the car.
Definitely singing along. I'm singing along.
More than a feeling. But then you're going, dun 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 dun
Yeah, 100%. 100% singing along. Sometimes I'll whistle along if the range is too high, But yeah, fuck. Are you crazy? Sweet Child of Mine, guitar solo, you're not singing along? There's something wrong with you.
Okay, let me just throw one at you here. I'm just going to Google best guitar solo.
Okay.
And I would like you to sing it.
Oh, fuck.
Top of your head here. What's a good one for you? Okay, do... Ooh, Freebird.
Freebird.
So go past the slow part. Okay, I'll set you up. Okay, I'm gonna fly, free bird. Hit it, JD.
Is that how it goes?
I think it's like
yeah. Skinner, I'm not that familiar with.
Yeah. Or what's one as I have been driven nuts by, but it's pretty funny. Allman Brothers. Is it Jessica? It's an instrumental. Okay, all right, here one. Give me one more. Hotel California.
Well, the beginning of it, blang, ding, 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 ding,
no, those are just arpeggios. Okay, I'm thinking more.
Fuck, how does it go? That's fucking fire. That guitar.
No, it's a great guitar solo. That's the only good thing about that song, to be honest.
Oh, come on. No, it's great.
Yeah, it is great, but it's so fucked up that they made me hate it. Okay, wow, I had a lot of these, but maybe we'll do some more of these on a different podcast.
Okay, yeah,
asking them. Let's end on this one because this is insane.
Okay.
Now, all these rules, you would agree, this guy, his rules for his unborn son. He's like, he's a man. I want my son to grow up to be a man.
Right.
This is his rule. You're never too old to wave at fire trucks. The fuck is this guy talking about?
Wow. I don't wave at fire trucks, do you?
No, who does that? I didn't even know that was a thing that the fire trucks even want us to be doing.
Well, little kids love fire trucks.
I understand. And he's saying you're never too old. So he wants me, a 41-year-old man, to be waving at a fire truck that's going by. If I wave at it, I won't be able to put my fingers in my ears. Well, that's another good question. Would you agree or disagree? You're never too old to put your fingers in your ears to block out the screaming sound of a siren.
Oh, that's true. Like, you should be doing that. It's too late.
Right.
You're gonna hurt
But I think
your ears.
some men think you look like a child.
You do, but that's fine.
But
you look like a child and save your hearing.
My cochlea will thank me later.
Yeah. If I'm waving at a fire truck, it's like I'm hailing them down for something at my age. Like, they're probably going to think there's something wrong. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I say to Jill. I say, Jill, could you please put your fingers in my ears? I'd like to keep my hand free in case a fire truck goes by.
Yes, but what about my ears, Matt? Get your fingers in my ears.
I don't know. She grew up on a farm. She's probably used to hearing like loud noises of like combine harvesters going by or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, put your fingers in your ears, okay?
Yeah.
Also, how do you... Like, kids wave at fire trucks, you're telling me. I believe you. Mm-hmm. Do they also wave at ambulances? Because that's rude.
What do you mean? Rude?
Well, they're waving, and inside they're going, give him 30 cc's of... whatever thing we have in here.
Yeah.
What do we got in here?
Yeah. No, you're right.
This vial's filled with Shiraz Light. This patient's gonna die. You don't wave at a cop car, do you? They're on their way to a murder.
You don't.
They're like, hi.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
that's true.
I say don't wave at anything.
Okay.
I'm
with you. What about the thing for regular truckers? Like,
yeah, that's cool. That's totally fine. Okay. That's totally fine. You can keep doing that. All right. So as we said, the next Is This Good show you will hear will be Kelly Dwyer. That'll be July 10th. Next week you will hear me and JD half of us will be live from beautiful Las Vegas. We'll be hearing all about the ins and outs of what JD's doing down there. Whether he's up, whether he's down, what the pool scene's like. We're going to get a nice vibe report from Las Vegas.
Yep.
So join us next week for that. And again, join us tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern for the live stream hangout. Free trial on Patreon. Email us at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe everywhere and leave a review on Apple Podcast. This was JD and Matt reaching out from the great beyond. Have a safe trip, JD.
Thank
See you next week. Waving like you're a fire truck. Bye.